Hello, subscribers. This is yours truly, JBlue68, coming to you with my next comic book haul video. Before we get into this video, I want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. For liking, sharing, and commenting, please continue to do so. And tap the notification bell so you get more videos like this as I post them immediately. This is actually going to be my second actual physical comic book haul of the video of the year. Normally, I do my comic book short videos, and I continue to do those. But from time to time, I do the actual physical comic book hauls of the actual comic books. I still collect comics. I love collecting them. However, I will be limiting this in this year, and probably going forward, how many physical comic book haul videos I do. The reason why, because they don't get the viewership that I really desire for them to get. I don't think too many people are really interested in comic book hauls anymore, or at least in mine. Maybe my comic book hauls are quite boring. I don't know, but I do know that most of the books that I collect, that I highlight, are usually like a month or two behind. These comic books are from the months of February and March. We are now in April. This is April 1st, the first day of the first day of comic book month for the comic book day. What am I trying to say here? The first day of April, and the very first day of comic book Wednesday for April. That's what I'm trying to say. The very first day of comic book Wednesday in the month of April. So we're about 2 months behind. And of course, me getting my books is based upon, my finances. I'm not sponsored by anyone. No one sends me books. All the comic books I buy are, purchased from my own pocket. So, and I get the books that I'm only interested in. My books, the comic book haul videos that I do, are not based off of necessarily always what's popular and what other comic book collectors are collecting. However, we're going to start off with Marvel, and I will say that this particular comic book series is ended, but it actually is very popular amongst other comic book collectors, and has One World Under Doom. I'm very much behind, again, on reading this book. This is issue number 7. I actually have issues number 7, 8, and 9 in this haul that I haven't read yet. I think, in fact, the trade paperback will be out this summer, if it's not out already. I don't believe it is. But yeah, there have been many spin-off books from this particular story, One World Under Doom. I've enjoyed it so far. I've enjoyed it. I like the premises of the story, which kind of reflects the current political environment that we're living in. But this is written by Ryan North. This is issue number 7 with Doom and Mr. Fantastic battling each other on the cover there. Here's issue number 8 with the Thing clobbering Dr. Doom, as you can see there. And then here is issue number 9 of the same story, One World Under Doom. And I believe this is the final book of this series. Yeah. But out of this series spins another story. This is The Will of Doom, issue number 1, written by Chip Zdarsky. And this is again the aftermath of the One World Under Doom story. And I believe this is a one-shot. So, yeah. The fall of Doom leads to the rise of Armageddon. And there have been several spin-off stories from this particular book. That's, of course, the fist of the Red Hulk crushing or holding the face mask of Doom. And again, I'm not up to date on the reading of this story, so I don't really know what's going on, but I will be. I will be. And then here's a reintroduction of a character that I really enjoyed very much. That was written about 4 or 5 years ago by Donny Cates, artwork by Ryan Stegman. This is issue number 1, number 1, the Symbiote God. This is written by Al Ewing and Tim Waltz. The artist is Juanan Ramirez. And it's a continuation of the space demon terrorizing the galaxy. In fact, I think they're on issue number 3 by now. But as I mentioned, I'm way behind on my comic book collecting. But yeah, this artwork is similar to Ryan Stegman's artwork, but this is Juanan, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Juanan Ramirez is the artist of this series. Next up, we get into the celebration of one of Marvel's infamous characters, the Black Panther. This is issue number 60. This is the 60th anniversary special of the Black Panther, celebrating 60 years of the Black Panther. Let me take a sip of coffee here really quick. All right. So this is the 60th anniversary special of the Black Panther. There are several artists and writers contributing to this story, including Evan Narcisse, I believe, Jorge Georges Gente, or Jorges Gente, I think. And here's a name I always have a hard time pronouncing: Marawa Ayodele, Edgar Adir Messias, I believe. Adir Messias. I hope I'm not slaughtering these names. Federico Blee, Chris Priest, and Matthew Rosenberg are all contributing writers and artists to this book. Again, celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Black Panther. Okay. And then we get more Black Panther here with Intergalactic Black Panther issue number 2. And that looks like Doc Ock in the background attacking the Black Panther. And this is written by Victor Lavelle. Artist is Stefano Narcisse. In the wake of this is again the Intergalactic Black Panther. I think they're on issue number 3 or 4 of this story. Okay. All right, let's move along here. And then we get the final issue of Ultimate Black Panther. This is issue number 24. And I believe that's Storm and, of course, T'Challa on the cover there. And this is the final issue, which is written by Brian Hill, and the artist is Stefano Caselli. Yeah, so the final issue of Black Panther, number 24, the final issue of the Ultimate Black Panther. A lot of Black Panther that's come out over the previous weeks, rather. And then here's a beautiful cover. This is a variant edition. Issue number 1, Storm, Earth's Mightiest Hero. That's a gorgeous cover there. Let's do a close-up shot of that. Let's see. Very nice. Beautiful cover there. Storm, Earth's Mightiest Hero, variant edition, written by the person whose name I have a hard time pronouncing, Murawa Ayodele. That is an absolutely gorgeous cover there. Love that. I think, again, this is issue number 1, but I think they're on issue number 3 of this exciting story. All right. We're still in Marvel Comics, and we have issue number 1 of Planet of the Apes versus the Fantastic Four, with the 20th Century Fox Studio logo on the top there. It's issue number 1. And as I speak, I believe issue number 3 is out. That's a cool cover there. Very cool. I love that artwork. This is written by Josh Trujillo. The artwork is by Andrea DeVito, I believe. DeVito. Okay. And here's a book I'm so very excited to have in my collection. I haven't collected a Star Wars book in a Star Wars comic book in a long time, and I've not been very excited about most of the Star Wars comics that have been done by Marvel. Um, I was more so into the Dark Horse comics, Star Wars books, but I had to get this. I am a huge fan of Jar Jar Binks, and I'll tell you just a brief story. When Star Wars prequel trilogy first started, and I went to go see Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, I absolutely hated the character of Jar Jar Binks. And I don't like to use that word. Well, I won't say hated. I didn't like the character at all. A lot of people didn't. But Jar Jar grew on me over time, especially when Dave Filoni did Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series. It gave more justification and better representation of the character. I began to understand Jar Jar, and I am an absolute Jar Jar Binks fan now. I love the character now, played by actor Ahmed Best. It's subtitled The Unseen, and it takes place between episodes 2 and 3, and it's actually written by the actor I just mentioned, Ahmed Best, along with Mark Guggenheim. The artist is Kieran McCowan and Laura Braga are the artists for the interior art of this book. And it actually features a team up with Jedi Knight Kelleran Beck. If you can recall, Kelleran Beck is also a character played by Ahmed Best. I believe was created in and or for a video game. And the character appeared live action in Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3, which I am actually rewatching as we speak, preparing for the movie The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm kind of getting caught up on all the Star Wars TV shows, and of course, the main one being The Mandalorian. But yeah, I'm very excited to have this book, man. I again, got to give Jar Jar Binks some love, and that I definitely do. And I will be collecting this entire series, absolutely. All right, so issue number 1, Star Wars Jar Jar. All right. I know that was a lot, but I had to give Jar Jar some positive representation. Next up, we get into Marvel Red Band series. This is the Red Band series of Marvel Zombies. And I don't know who the writers are because, oh, here they are. Sheridan Bazuldua and Arsenega are probably the artists, but whoever Sheridan is, they don't have the full name, but yeah, they're the names right there. I'm sorry. And of course, we know that Marvel Zombies, the animated series, came out last year. It was very successful. And then Marvel Comics, have followed up on that series with a new batch of Marvel Zombie books. This is Red Band, and it's polybagged because it's inappropriate for kids or for younger audiences because of blood and violence and gore, etc., etc., etc. Okay. All right. So that ends our Marvel Comics portion of this haul. Next up, we get into DC Comics, and I tell you, I don't have very many DC Comics, unfortunately. I only have 3. 2 right here. The first being this foil variant of The Death of Superman. And as I said before, probably see my shadow moving back and forth because of the foil print. But DC has been killing it, man, with their foil prints. They've been doing a really, really good job with them. And I've tried to collect as many as I can. But this is The Death of Superman, a foil edition by Dan Jurgens, and Brett Breeding. I believe The Death of Superman came out... Yeah, here it is, right here. The year is on here. Came out in 93. There it says right there. You see my face in there too. In 93. Okay. Death of Superman. Or my reflection you can see in the foil. Very, very nice there. Let's see. I think it's something on the back of this cover too. Yeah, okay. It's World Without Superman, the legend continues. And here are the other books in which, see, Funeral for a Friend, which they continue the story. It's a very significant story which was groundbreaking and record selling back when it came out in '93. All right. Let's put that back in there. And then we get into All In Absolute Batman issue number 16. I think they're on issue number 18 or 19 by now. I do have the other books in my pool list. I just was not able to pick them up. But this is Absolute Batman, with Batman having some words with Wonder Woman. As you can see the words on the cover there. I won't repeat them, but let's do a close-up shot of that cover. There you go. And then we have some other, we have the DC preview catalog books, as you can see in the background there, but I don't need to show those. Those are freebies that you can pick up at your local LCS. But when I say that, I also encourage, if you go to your LCS, don't just go there to get free books. Support them and buy some books. Now, this is a DC book that I'm really excited to show here. The collaboration of both Marvel Comics, let me get, hold on. The collaboration of both Marvel and DC Comics, which they haven't done in a long time. This is an expensive book. This is a Treasury Edition size comic of Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man. DC and Marvel presents. And for those of you who are not familiar with Treasury size comic books, they're just basically very large scale comics. This is a comparison in terms of size of a normal comic book to a Treasury size. Okay. Something like, was about probably 18, 20 inches in terms of height, the book. And it actually has paper print versus, the print that they use normally for comic books. You can see that there. Picture of Stan Lee, a young Stan Lee, and Carmine Infantino. Okay, here's the back of the book. It's really cool right there. Batman and Superman, Spider-Man and Superman together. That's a really, really cool layout there. I like that. Okay, and that's it for DC Comics. Next up, we're going to get into our independent comics. We got a lot of those. We'll do those in two. Split the independent comic books in two halves, because I have so many. Okay. So now it's going to be quite an explanation for this particular comic book here, which I've done videos on before. Again, this is the indie comic book. This is Stranger Comics, which is created by Sebastian. This was created by Sebastian A. Jones. And this comic book series, unfortunately, does not appear in a lot of comic book stores. When Diamond Comics went out of business, this is one of the comic books that was part of their shipment. But when they went out of business, unfortunately, a lot of the Stranger Comics comic books stopped appearing inside of stores. You actually have to special order for them. And I'm going to put a link in the description here where you can go to their website. I talk to Sebastian every now and then on YouTube and on Instagram where he does his Stranger Con, which he highlights his book, his creation, which is Tales of Asunda, and this is Tales of Asunda the Untamed. Now, there's a big story behind this. This book is actually from volume 3, and it was specifically from the Emerald Comic Con, which is in Seattle, Washington, which was held about a month ago. And he autographed it for me. As you can see, his autograph on the cover there in the silver highlights. The artwork is by Alex Peterson. Layout art is by Daryl May. Cover art is by I think Kanan White and Paris Aline, if I'm pronouncing those names correctly. Now, the big thing about this book, the big deal about this particular book, is that Stranger Comics is bringing the story of Niobe, who's the main character to this story, to anime. And he actually has a trailer online on YouTube, which you can watch, which I'll also do a link to that video. He's doing a anime production of Niobe Tales of Asunda, which will be coming out, I believe, sometime towards the end of this year. He recently did a Kickstarter to help to support the project, and launching an epic Untamed, like I said, an Untamed Kickstarter that will expand the world of Asunda. In addition to that, Julius Tenen and actress Viola Davis, who's also known to play as a role in the DC animated series. She's also appeared in DC movies. They are helping to develop an Untamed live action film for the big screen. I've included this in my community post. You can check it out there for more info. Sebastian just did a campaign this last weekend, which I was on with him with all Saturday as an observer, to continue funding said projects. Very proud of him, man. He stands by his work, and I'm proud to say I'm a financial backer of his projects. Again, this book is autographed by him, and again, I'm just very proud of the work that he's done on Tales of Asunda, bringing it to the public eye. It's basically, if you're into fantasy comics, this is what this is. It's the Untamed. It won the EGOT award, and what am I saying here? Or trying to say here? I mentioned Julius Tenen. He is the CEO of Juvie Productions. Juvie Productions won the EGOT award, is what I meant to say. I'm sorry. And they're going to help to produce this fantasy revenge epic alongside Homeworld Entertainment and Stranger Comics. And they're going to be bringing this to the big screen. So there's actually going to be 2 cinematic versions of this book, in anime and in live action. So I can't wait. Congratulations again, Seb, on your hard work. All right. All right, so let's move along here. Next up, we get into World Tree. This is issue number 18 from Image Comics, World Tree. And this is a series that I've been collecting for quite some time now. This is by James Tynion the fourth. And the artwork is by the cover art is by Fernando Blanco. Colors by, who is it? Javoli Belair, I believe. And this is basically the X-Files meets NYPD meets the Twilight Zone. Okay. Very brutal cover there. Looks like some dude just got hit by a car. Yikes. Sorry I don't have this in a bag and board. I didn't get enough bags and boards when I purchased these books. And then one of my favorite television series, here's the comic book series highlighting one of my favorite comic book series from the 1960s, Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. This is subtitled The Relic. This is by IDW Comics and written by James Stokoe. Issue number 3. Yeah, issue number 3. That was issue number 2 I just showed, which was covered in my previous comic book haul. And then we get into Thundercats, issue number 24, and I think issue number 25 came out last week. I believe the final issue of the main title, which will be spinning off into another title, another series. They actually have a spin-off series that's out already, but they're supposed to be connecting this series with another comic book series. I'm not sure which one it will be, but we'll stay tuned to that. Excuse me, I'm going to take another sip of coffee. These covers, though, for Thundercats are absolutely phenomenal. I'll do a close-up shot of that. That is absolutely gorgeous cover, man. I love the cover art for that. For all the books of Thundercats. This is written by Declan Shalvey. Artist is David O'Sullivan. And this is cardstock. And this is Dynamite Comics, by the way. But yeah, very, very nice there. As this series is wrapping up. And then this book here, I was also so very excited to get. This is The Phantom of the Opera from the Monsters series. Universal Monsters from Skybound Entertainment and Image Comics. This is issue number 1. And actually, well, I actually seen the real live play of Phantom of the Opera from the which was done by Andrew Lloyd Webber, but that's a different story for another time. This is written by Tyler Boss, I believe. The artist is Martin Simmons. Beautiful interior artwork. But I want to show you something else about this cover. As I've said time and time again, one of the reasons why I do physical comic book hauls is to show you the significance of the various things you can do with comic books. And how this mask here actually lifts up. Look at that. Isn't that not cool? On the front and back. The things that you can do with physical comics that you cannot do with digital comics. But look at, even more so, look at the interior art here. It's very dark and foreboding and it's very environmental and moody. Dig that. The Phantom of the Opera. All right. Very nice. And again, you know, one of the reasons why I like to collect the physical copies of the comic books when my bank account or my wallet allows. All right. Okay. So that's that. And then next we get into the world of Todd McFarlane from the Spawn universe. This is Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue number 21. And again, cardstock from Image Comics, written by Thomas Healy and Todd McFarlane, art by Von Randall. And it basically is deals with paranormal investigators dealing with real life violent crimes. Right? Dig that. And this is the only title I have from the Spawn universe in this haul. Next, we get into Dark Horse Comics Red Book issue number 3. This is a sequel to Blue Book. If you're familiar with Blue Book, this is from Dark Horse Comics. It deals with the world of extraterrestrial revelations in the former Soviet Union. It has a monochromatic artwork that basically serves the story very well. So this is a sequel to Blue Book. And I have that entire series, which I thought was very well done. Okay, it's issue number 3, and there's issue number 2, and I think issue number 4 is out. Okay, so that's part of the independent comic book haul. Here's the other part, lot 2. All right. See, I have a lot of independent comics. I really enjoy independent comics because they, a lot of them are a lot more inventive and interesting, sometimes in the big two, which of course are Marvel and DC. Straighten these out here. And the first book from lot 2 is Crownsville, issue number 1. I think I have issues number 1 through 4. No, just issue number 1. This is from Oni Press, written by Rodney Barnes, and it's art illustrated by Elia Bonetti. And it's basically a ghost story, but let's read the synopsis of the story. Let's see if we can. And the interior artwork is gorgeous too. Let's see. So, Crownsville State Hospital opened in 1911, just south of Baltimore, Maryland. A segregated institution of all manner of marginalized patients, the mentally ill, the homeless, and even children with chronic medical conditions such as epilepsy. Behind locked doors, care soon gave way to confinement and abuse. Patients were routinely subjected to involuntary and unethical medical testing, and rumors of secret government-sanctioned experimentation flooded the halls. Nearly all the patients admitted to Crownsville died within the asylum. More than 1,800 bodies remain buried on the grounds, its tormented soil bearing witness to years of neglect and cruelty. In 2004, Crownsville was permanently closed. The abandoned building continues to rot in silence, boarded up and fenced off to the public, yet a century of secrets stir within its decaying walls. And I think this is actually based off of true events, but they just turned it into a comic book. And the spirits of the dead children are haunting the community around it. But dig the artwork there. And very moody, very creepy, very environmental, and very dark. So, almost a monochromatic style, but not quite. And the characters are primarily black characters. So, if that bothers you, if that triggers you, then you may not want to purchase this book. But I was very much interested in it when I heard about it. Same with this series here, Roots of Madness, which has almost a similar tone, and again also deals with black or African American characters. Let's see, Roots of Madness, and I wanted to say with Crownsville, I think that went up to 4 or 5 issues. I'll probably end up getting the trade paperback. But let's see. So yeah, Roots of Madness. What do we have to say about this series? And this is by Ignition Press, this particular series. Let's see. I don't know if I did a complete analysis. Yeah, I did. So it's written and created by Stephanie Williams and Letitia Codonici. This is cardstock too, by the way. And honestly, I'm not familiar with the entirety of the story, but it is a horror-related story. I'll probably need to buy the trade paperback if I cannot hunt down the other single prints. I love the cover art for all of these books, though. For the book, rather. Let me see. Oh, here are the other books. I kind of had them out of order here. let's see here. Yeah, I kind of had them out of order. So here's Roots of Madness, issue number 1. Here's issue number 2. Okay. Issue number 3. Beautiful there. Very dark and kind of creepy though. And then issue number 4. And I think this went up to 5 issues. Issue number 5 is on my pull list. It's just a matter of time when I actually go to my LCS, and I'll go get issue number 5. And I'll include that in my next comic book haul if I do one. So here's issue number 3, then issues number 3 and 4. So basically I do have all the books. I just haven't picked up issue number 5 yet. So that's very cool. All right. And more horror comics. If you're into horror comics, which I am. I didn't used to be, but I think it was like about 5-6 years ago I started reading horror comics. This is from Boom Studios. This is Be Not Afraid, issue number 3. But I think I already covered issue number 3. It's issue number 4 that I didn't cover. I read issue number 3, and this is a story that's not for the faint of heart, not at all. It's written by Jude Ellison S. Doyle and Lissandro Esterin. Art is by Francesca Segala. This is a horror story that basically deals with both pseudo-angelic and demonic powers that haunt a family legacy. I have issues number 3 through 6 here. I believe that there's a 7th issue, but I'll check with my LCS. This is issue number 4. Or I showed issue number 3. Let's see, and here's issue number 5. And issue number 6. That might be the final issue, but like I said, I'm not for sure. But I'll check with my LCS to see if that's the case. Yeah. So there we go. More horror comics. 30 Days of Night, Falling Sun. Yes. Yeah, this is 30 Days of Night, Falling Sun. And I don't think I have really much to say about this book. This is issue number 3. And I do believe that I have issue number 2 somewhere. But yeah. It's written by Rodney Barnes. Story consultant is Steve Niles. And the art is by Chris Shahan. And of course, it's a vampire-related creep show. If you've never seen 30 Days of Night, the movie, not for the faint of heart either, but if you're into horror movies and horror comics, this is definitely a story for you. Some good artwork too. Can we show it really quick? Here's issue number 2. I think I showed issue number 2 previously. But I'll show some of the artwork from the pages here of this book. And this is from IDW as well. Just really quick. Yeah. So here's some of the artwork from the pages there. Very creepy. All right. And there we go. 30 Days of Night. All right. Let's put this back inside the bag and board. But yeah, I'm very much into horror comics. Most of the time are well written. And I think this is the final book here. Yeah, Skin Breakers from Robert Kirkman, and This is from Image Comics as well. Artwork is by David Finch. So basically a fantasy adventure story. If you're into fantasy comics, this is definitely for you. And then the artwork from this book has received a lot of praise as well. We'll go ahead and show some of the artwork of David Finch. And Robert Kirkman, as some of you may or may not know, of course, is the creator of The Walking Dead. This is cardstock. So that's cool. And there's some who said that this is some of the best artwork that David Finch has ever done. You know, I have no dog in that fight, or I'm neither here nor there with that. David Finch, who's appeared at many Comic Cons. Okay, and there you go. Very nice there. Very nice there. So that's it for my physical comic book haul. I don't expect it to get a lot of views. Again, it never does. That's why I probably won't be doing as many physical comic book hauls as I used to. There'll be every now and then. For those of you who are into comic books, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you can get more videos like this as I post them immediately. All right, thank you all for joining me. Peace, love, and hair grease.